Oh, it's happened. It has happened. Ten Hag is gone. I actually can't believe it, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. You shouldn't be. Because the reason I can't believe it, when it came to last international break, I was like, this is the perfect time to sack him. We're getting draws. We're not winning games. We're playing poorly. They all said we need to see a change of results and style play. The style play wasn't good enough, but I guess draws were good enough for a result. But that's why I said, oh man, I was praying on his downfall so many times. It's crazy. I didn't want this manager here. I wanted to just move on, get a new manager, a new start, a fresh start. And we're here, and I'm like, bro, this is stressful watching this team play. It is stressful. And I'm like, hmm. Everyone's saying, but what is there's not another manager out there? No one can do better than him. That's BS. And when you look at this team, I'm like, I think they're good players. Delit, Mathraoui, Martinez, Delo, Ugarte, Casemiro, Erickson, Kobe Mainu, even Sekou Kone once he gets in fitness to be able to play in the first team, he's gonna be all right. There's people in the academy I think are really good. I think Erasmus has his qualities in finishing, and they could get the best out of him. I think Xerxes better than what he's shown. Anthony, still the rules out on him, but maybe a manager who actually is better and can't get better on him, but he's injured, so he probably won't play it for the next manager. Ahmad definitely needs more minutes. Hasn't played any of the big games this year. Rashford, even though I don't rate Rashford that highly as he was when he was like 19 coming out, getting his first debut, I still think he can do more. And he's going to be put in a role that actually, where instead of playing an inside forward role where he's just picking pass, that's what Ahmad should be, inside forward, picking passes, playing people in behind and loud. That's something what I'm gonna do. That's not what Rashford. He's going the touchline and go one on one with the winger, be isolated. But the manager didn't choose to do that. He said, take your best finisher and put him at right back. He's finished. He's not getting a good job anywhere, bro. There's no way. If someone's willing to give this man a good job after what they saw at Manchester United, then they're foolish. They must have the best players in the world. And bro, Real Madrid's not gonna go anywhere near him. He said he's gonna go somewhere else and win trophies. I am absolutely. I'm happy today, but I'm still looking. I'm like, this Man United team's still 14th. We played in the Carabao Cup midweek on Wednesday, so we're gonna see what type of lineup Rude's gonna put out there because it's the Carabao Cup. But he's putting his arm around Ahmad, so I assume Ahmad's gonna be a player that he's gonna put more faith in and trust in. So the question is, players are gonna show up because they still got to show up for training. They're getting paid. They're gonna show up and Rude's the manager. So I wonder what type of structure he's gonna play with, and that's why I'm like he plays with the 4-2-3-1 usually. But I look at I'm like he's gonna play very compact. He might play Xerxes and Hoyland together. We're gonna see what Rude's capable of in these next 2 weeks. But like everyone else, some people are saying Rude. All the different X accounts are saying, you know what? They want to put Rude as their main guy. Once Ten Hag leaves, all that allegiance went away. There's Ten Hag's army. If you're an army, you go down with the ship. You should have deleted that account and started a new one. But they said no, we're gonna switch it and switch allegiances completely and go straight to Rude and put them in their bio. Strange accounts, bro. It's weird. But where do we go from here? Ten Hag did a whole bunch of nonsense. 6-3. He let us get bit. 6-3, 7-0, 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-1. Almost losing 1-0. Converting, losing in the Champions League. Can't win after scoring the most goals scored in the Champions League group stages. We've had some really tough times. We won 2 trophies. Thank you for that. That's all I'll thank you for is the trophies. But even then, we got bailed out in certain occasions where we could have lost. and we struggled against better teams. And I think our players are better than most teams. I think they're better than what they've shown. I think they're better than what they are, and I think a better manager will get more out of them than what they've shown today. A real coach will get more out of this team. That's why I'm looking forward to the future and what they can do next. And I'm just here, short stream, getting used to it. What else do you need to be a great team? You need mentality. You need accountability. You need availability. You need players that can stay fit, so the medical team needs to not have that same problem they had where they can't get a player wrapped up and put on the pitch and we concede a goal. You need accountability, not this manager, like a manager like Ten Hag saying, oh no, I denied that result. I deny that game even happened because we got a red card, even though we were bad for 30 minutes straight and we're getting dominated by Tottenham. And then here we are. Here we are. Still struggling, losing to West Ham, who aren't even that good. It's not his fault for that last game. I won't blame him. But I will blame him for the second half and not adjusting and getting that team to have a better spirit. I think that team gave up on him. That was a team that gave up on the manager. And rightfully so, bro. This man Delo has stayed fit this whole time. And he's just been running ragged this whole time. He just looks drained. And people are like, I'm telling you, if you play this many games in a row for club and country, not getting a break because of injuries, and you're not willing to rotate, put him on the bench, and then you let left backs go on loan because you expect someone to be back, and you let the loan go, and then now they just have to play with him. He has to play every game. I'm like, he needs to get rotated out, get some refreshment in. He needs to be refreshed, get rest, and get someone else in this position. Trust the youth. Like, bro, I'm telling you, the youth could do better than this, but he doesn't trust them enough. That's what I'm saying. I'm so glad the Sekou Kone, Cheeto Obi Martin, any other academy player, Kobe Mainu, even Garnacho, get to have a new manager leading them at this time, because I think he was running both Kobe and Garnacho into the ground. I think that Cheeto doesn't need to be coming into the first team and getting minutes under this manager, because I don't think he would put him in a position to succeed with this tactics he's going to involve. I'm like, bro, I really do. I don't want Rude to get the job. Like, no, interim fine. I don't want him to get the main job. I hope he just goes until the international break in November. We play with Rude, and then we go get a new coach. Because they're saying there's a whole bunch of reports. Graham Bailey, which I don't really trust. There's Ben Jacobs and Rob Dawson's all right. But there's plenty of other managers, 4 or 5, that are out there. Xabi Alonso. Who's next? Who's up next? That's the question. There's Xabi Alonso. He rejected us because it seemed like he's going to Real Madrid. But if you really, they called themselves, Ineos called themselves the best in class. Go make it happen. If you're the best in class, you can convince someone to come to Manchester. Manchester's a big club. They can convince them to come to Manchester because we have decent players that they can get the best out of, and we can do more in the time that they have. If you get them in by November. And hopefully a new manager bounce, we can do something against Chelsea. I expect us to compete. I think Old Trafford's gonna be buzzing on. I think it's Sunday that we play Chelsea, but I think they're gonna be buzzing for this game. I think they're gonna be up for it. I think the players, once this manager's gone, they're gonna be like, bro, Old Trafford seems different today. A new manager, it seems different today. It's gonna be exciting. I hope they show actual full training videos instead of just rondos and him giving instruction. Because I want Root to just set a good foundation for the players and belief. And everyone telling them that he's showing them good things, and it takes time. People think that just because Root was a top level striker that they're just going to start scoring goals after 8 games. Not everything happens in an instant. Some things take time. And Ten Hag got his time. But what are we saying? Who's up next? Ten Hag is in the past now. He's the ex you don't need to talk about. He's the toxic, abusive one. You don't need to talk about him anymore. He's done. You go to therapy. We've been through therapy all this time. We gotten over him. Now just push him to the side. Focus up on what's next, how we improve now, and who we want to be the manager in the future. Like, I see this and I'm like, Ruben Amorim's in the list. Xavi's a free. Xabi Alonso, Nagelsmann, and there's one other that I can't remember. There's one other manager that's out there. Oh, Hoeneß. You go if you want Honus, any of those five managers. I say Xavi's my last one. If all of them say I'm committed here, I won't be available. Then you go get Xavi. You tell him, prove to me that you can be the main man. That's the one that I said. We'll start with the bottom. Xavi. It prove to me you're the main man. If all the other ones don't want you, and they say like say with chess, like I'm sticking where I'm at. I'm not going anywhere mid-season. I'm gonna stay here. Put down the money. Don't act. Don't be broke. Put down the money and go get a top manager out there out of their job. If you're best in class, go pay the money. Pay the like if you want Ruben Amorim, play the Reese clause, no matter how much it costs, and then get him out his job and bring him in. If you want the Sebastian Owners, pay him out his release cost, get him out his job. You can convince him with enough money. If you want to get any of these guys, Julian Nagelsmann, pay him the money. He'll come to Man United. You just got to convince him of the project. We're gonna give you, we're still gonna get you signings, but we're gonna talk right in. We're gonna pick the signings, but you're gonna have a say and be in the room and say, oh, these players are the ones that I can see. We're gonna give you three signings and you get to pick which one do you want. Which one is the one that can fit the system the best? Who's good players that you want in the system? Who's in the academy that you like? I'm like, bruh. I'm telling you, Xavi's the last choice. Ruben Amorim, back three, very progressive, good in possession team, very attacks well, defends well, doesn't concede as many goals. So and we have good enough defenders to play his back three system. If Euro comes back after international break, technically you could start with the back four right now, still let him rest, come back into November, and then we'll see. And then he'll actually have a top quality manager coaching him, building up him. I'm glad that man didn't get to have a minute with Lenny Euro on the pitch. I'm glad you didn't get a minute with him because bruh. This might have been a shining light for Lenny Euro that this man got sacked at this time and now he's going to be having a new manager. Oh, thank God, bro. Thank God. And then Sekou Kone comes through at some point because they saw him as a first team signing and he's just trying to get him used to being in England and get adapted and have relationships. As time goes on, they're going to be like, I think he's ready at some point. And then Cheetah will get some more minutes. I'm like, bro, I'm just being patient. Patiently waiting for the next manager to come in during the next international break in November. What else can we do? Man, this is a big ask. I want you to go all in for Nagelsmann first. Because I think he has a revolutionary style of play. I think he can dominate teams. And I think he can make an immediate impact on the dressing room in terms of coaching and detail. Getting the best out of all the players on the pitch because I think there's talent still there left in each and every one of our players. Besides Bruno. Bruno's the only one I said, bro. I hope maybe a better coach can get more out of you. But if they can't, he'll bench you. You're done. It's over. And I hope, you know what I hope for? People are going to be like, bro, he's a club captain. I hope a manager comes in and says, takes the captain's armband off you and says, we're going to wait. You're going to show me who can be a captain. Instead of just saying, I'm going to go with the last manager who said you could be a captain. Take the armband off Bruno and see who can be a captain of the team. Whether it's Martinez, whether it's De Ligt, whether it's Casemiro, whether it's any of them. Who are you going to trust to be in the job, to do something, to make waves this season? This is why I said, I'm like, Nagelsmann's right there just waiting because he's just dealing with the Nations League. I'm like, I really do hope that we can get him out the job. Get him out the job, and then we can just go about our business and be like, we have one of the best young coaches in the league. And you can give him time. I'm cool with giving him time because he's got ideas, and he's going to prove it on the pitch. And these players are going to improve and develop and get better instead of just stagnating and regressing under Ten Hag as they did. You can see they were regressing. Kobe Mainoo was regressing. Garnacho regressing. And many other players just not being able to see the best of them because they're not playing in the best system. Ah, man. But I want to know people in the comments, in the chat. Let me know who you want as manager. Who do you think is the best fit for the job? because I'm looking at it. I'm like, ah, sure. Julian Nagelsmann is my number one. His style of play, the way how attacking they are, but the but I want the structure of a Xavi Alonso involved in it because the way he I want possession. I want people that can keep the ball. I want players that can keep the ball. I want a structure where we keep the ball instead of just going chaotic football. Have control. Because I think these players have the ability to have control if they're coached right. I think they have enough coachable people in the team. I think Xerxes coachable. People already are off him. I'm telling you this now. We get a better coach. He's going to go in there and he's going to teach Xerxes. He's going to teach Hoyland. He's going to teach Rashford. He's going to teach Garnacho. He's going to teach Ahmad. He's going to teach the midfield how to be balanced in the midfield. He's going to pick a balanced midfield. He's going to pick a balanced attack. He's going to have a good defensive structure. And we're going to be there then in the next month or so after getting this manager in. And we're going to be like, bruh, Ten Hag was really bad. I really do hope it gets to that level. And it's going to be better. But I hope it becomes that much more that he's able to get more out of the players that they're going to be like, bro, I was wrong about Ten Hag. I want all these Ten Hag inners to feel. I want them all on smoke. I want to smoke with all of them. Because I'm like, I want them to look at this and look back and be like, bro, this man was garbage. He was a terrible coach because he couldn't get more out of the players. And people are going to say, well, why couldn't you do that for Ten Hag? I'm like, that means he wasn't doing his job if they didn't feel like they could believe in his system. And there's got to be accountability. We're talking about accountability as one of the factors that players need to hold accountability. We're not talking like that last game. They didn't finish their chances. They got to be held accountable. Get them out the game, put a new front three in, and give them a chance to work and to say, well, you're not going to play in games. So that's the level you're going to show for Manchester United. You got to be able to put the ball in the back of the net and play well at the same time. If we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net and played well throughout the game, it would have been okay. We still got to be better, but we didn't put the ball in. But we got battered after that. We were destroyed by West Ham. We had no answer in the second half, and that's on the manager. That's why I say. And I'm just waiting to see. I don't think Rude's not the answer. Let's get that out of our heads. Rude isn't the answer. I don't want him to be the answer. I want him to be the guy that helps the guy or the guy that leads to the next guy who's going to be the main. And then pay the money, bro. You're a billionaire. Pay the money. Figure it out. Barcelona figured it out. Real Madrid figures it out. Bayern figures it out. Figure out who you want and go pay the money in a job. This is what I said. And I like Xavi, but I want to go for the best because now we've been too far down in the gutter to not go for the best. Xavi Alonso didn't want us? Okay, go get Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann don't want it? Okay, go get Amorim. Go get the best. And if you can't get the best and you're penny pinching at this point, get out the job. Ineos out. I've already said it on my X page. I said Ineos out. If you gotta earn my Ineos, you gotta earn my respect as a fan at this point, because I'm like, bro, what are you gonna do? You gotta earn our respect. We got giddy. I got giddy. Let me not. I'm gonna be honest. I got giddy at what they were doing, what type of signings they were making. I was like, oh, we could do something. I didn't think Ten Hag would be able to get the best out of them. I thought we'd do decently enough to go after top four. The squad's good enough. It has too much money in it, and there's quality in there. People are gonna say our players are trash. I said, bro, just wait. Just wait until we have a decent manager come in, at least a decent manager, and then we have a great manager in, and watch how these players will flourish under a better manager. And then we're gonna be sitting here, and they're gonna, all those fans, rival fans, that were telling us, these players are trash. I'm like, bro, this manager made them look more trash than they are because he's got a system that made them low on confidence. And he kept persisting, and then once the job was on the line, he completely changed it. And then he changed it again from a 3-2-5 build-up to a 4-4-2. He kept changing it, and it wasn't changing it for the sake of a different opposition. He was changing it because he said, this isn't working. And he didn't even try the 3-2-5 for a long period of time. He just said, I'm just going to try it because I want to get it off my back and do a 3-2-5 inverting with the wrong fullback to invert. Make it make sense. That's just my opinion. I just need someone who has a good talent ID for a manager. I just need someone who can profile profile players correctly. I know someone who's going to pick an 11. I need someone who's going to hold players accountable for their poor performance and sub them appropriately and in the right timing. I'm going to need a manager who has actual energy behind their voice, who speaks English well, and just believes in the process, and really is wants to win. That's what I want from a manager, and I hope other people want it too. And I'm just here for a short time, a short stream, not a long one. And that's what I'm here for. But appreciate everyone. Let me know in the comments, who do you want as Manchester United manager? Who do you think is good enough to be the manager? And who do you think who they should go out and go get? And what do you think about Ten Hag's reign? What would you rate it, A to F? I'm giving it a D minus, which is still failing. The reason I can't give it a straight F because we won 2 trophies. That's the only reason he gets in the D category. But otherwise, after that, if you count the trophy out, it was an F. This man was terrible. He made us suffer. And you gotta give it to the ownership, Glazers and Ineos. It's not looking great. There may be just D, just at a D. Good players, not clinical. They're not ruthless enough, ruthless enough in their decision making to say this is not a good enough standard to hold for Manchester United. Because Omar Barada said, we're going to take care of your club. We know how much you care about it. We're going to take care of it. At this moment, they're in fraud watch. They're on fraud watch. I don't know, people don't like hearing that Ineos are on fraud watch. They are. Because they pick Thomas Frank because they're afraid. They're like, bro, we're not going to be able to get anyone else, and he's the cheapest option that we can go get. We already know what type of timing they're on. Even though I don't hate Thomas Frank, I'm like, he may get better out, but you go up for the best. Show initiative that you want to go win in 2028, by 2028. That you're going to go out and get the best manager out there. You got to show it to us. You got to prove to the fans, because the fans, we could leave. We could just go, you know what, we're done. I don't know. I know they're not going to do that because a lot of them are sheep. I'm just being honest. And they'll just follow the wave. They'll be like, oh, yeah, well, this sucks, but I'm going to still support. Bro, you guys got to hold the standards of the biggest clubs in the world, bro. That's the one thing. I'm coming for the fan base, too. We have the lowest standards of any top club in the world. It doesn't matter if you lose 7-0, he should have been sacked. They said, no, give him time. No, he should have been sacked. That was embarrassing. We got absolutely embarrassed. We lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace, should have been sacked. I think it was 3-0 Fulham, should have been sacked. 6-3 City, should have been sacked. And there was consolation goals at the end. That's why it was 6-3. That's because they took their foot off the glass. Spurs recently should have been sacked. 3-0 Liverpool should have been sacked. Like the first 2 games of the season where we were getting beat down, you give them grace because it's the first 2 games of the season. We shouldn't got beaten like that. Hold them accountable for that, but don't sack them immediately. But then after that, if we don't see improvement, and then we start to do okay and grow, as he just went to a back 4. He didn't want to do the build-up structure. He didn't play possession because he didn't have the players. Fine. But after that, I'm like, you got to be held accountable for your decisions, and we should hold our team to a higher standard than any other team in the world. We should hold them to the Real Madrid, above a Real Madrid standard, but they don't want to. They just want to say, I want to back the manager, regardless if he's not doing well. Criticize him. I'm not telling you to hate him. I'm telling you to criticize his decision making and know when he's the right man for the job. We need top level. Any other job in the world, if he does a job like that, he gets fired easily. Not good enough. Get a new man in. And now this one, all the fans are okay with it. I'm telling you, that's why. Oh, but it wasn't fun, Ten Hag. I don't miss you. I don't feel bad for you. You're gonna get paid either way, so you're just gonna go back to Netherlands, chill with your family. You're gonna say, oh well, I still did a job. I managed Man United. I won 2 trophies. I'm right there with Pep. Yeah, except Pep didn't get sacked because he's one of the greatest of all time, if not one of the greatest of all time, right there up there as winners and tactical geniuses. You're not that tactical genius. You showed it. And I just looking forward. That's all I said. The future is here. The future is now. What are we gonna do next? Ineos, we're all watching. Well, thanks everyone. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It was short, but I'll be back for another stream.